I can see that I choose to listen to myself more and more, and sometimes that means to put limits to others. But people get offended when I do it. And if I just fake it, everything goes fine.
Goes fine for everyone but you. You know, I think these are your judgments. Because you think when you're not abandoning yourself, you're not being gracious. So, and this doesn't serve. You know, you have to be true to your heart. Because when you're always compromising, you always get to this point where you are resented. Like the little girl serving tea. You know, she had a little bit of resentment, I imagine. And you don't want to get to that point. No, you want to be at that point where you can be loving, open, giving, without, and doing it naturally, from a place of love. So don't get lost in that idea. You know, it's a switch to go from always abandoning yourself to focusing on love and giving that love from a genuine place instead of acting. So just be true to your heart. And everything will balance. And when you let go of the judgments, so will everyone else. You know, everyone has to adapt because it's a new way of being and we're not used to it.
Yvonne is asking how to let go of my parents that in the middle of this pandemic, they are not taking care of themselves, and I'm afraid something will happen.
Well, first you have to realize that they're your parents. So I assume that means they're adults. And it's in their hands. You have to look at your attachment, your need and your fear, and you need to let go. You know, they will do what they want to do. They're free to choose. And you're panicking and worrying and having all these ideas which are stressing you out. And the worst thing for anyone's immune system is stress. Stress. So don't focus on that. Focus on being loving, enjoying. Stop nagging them. You know, just let go. Speak your truth and let go. And trust. You know, some people don't want to stop. Some people want to do what they want to do. Some people will take a risk. And it's up to them. You can't force people to do what you want them to do.
Sergio is asking, I have a restless sleep, vivid dreams, and I wake up with a very strong vibration and in sweats. What is this?
Well, you're letting go of stress. And it's okay. You're doing a process. You're supposedly unifying for many hours. You're focused on consciousness. And we eliminate a lot of stress in our sleep. And we eliminate physical stress. Hence, the sweat. That's normal when I'm removing stress. You know, if you get sick, what happens at night? You start to sweat, no? You start to eliminate the stress or the toxins. And when you unify, the same thing happens. You start to eliminate everything. So this is good. And if you're having a lot of vibration, it means that your body is actualizing, and that's good. So it's good. Everything's good.
Carmen is saying, when you start this spiritual path, it's possible to fall into the spiritual ego. Can you talk about how not to fall there?
Well, you're like here, no? Ooh, ooh. You have to think a facet and not fall. Because if you fall into the spiritual ego, I doubt that you'll ever come back. You know, stop worrying. You know, if you fall into your ego, you know, spiritual people are very funny, no? Because they go from being asleep and then they start to change. And when they start to change, then they become important. Now I'm spiritual. And you're not spiritual. Like you're lesser now. It's like people that give up smoking and they can't stand people around them smoking, no? So if you're starting to behave like that, you know you're already in your spiritual ego. Because you have judgments. Because now you're superior. I'm spiritual. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do these things that you do. If you're doing that, spiritual ego. So you need to be clear about that. Everyone has their process. Everyone changes when they want or not. So don't insist. Always be focused on you.
Nicole is asking, how to heal the fear of commitment? Because I can see that I'm putting a very unconscious limit because I'm really afraid to be abandoned. But that makes me feel so mediocre.
You know, first you have to commit with yourself. Before you can commit with anything, you have to commit to find your true nature. And then you have to walk through your fears. But the most important thing, the greatest commitment, is to love yourself and be loving, be patient, be gentle, be nurturing, with the intention to keep moving forward. Don't do this from a place of exigencia. Just be gentle. And if you can see clearly, oh, I want to commit, but I'm afraid I'm going to get abandoned, guess what? You've already abandoned because you're not committing. And this is the trick of the ego, no? Oh, no, I'm not going to take that risk. So you're abandoned. We have these ideas that it's like contractual. If we write something or we do something, it's a commitment. But it's always an emotional thing. And what does it matter if you commit? If you're loving yourself, if you're giving 100%, great. If you're always teetering on the edge and you never step in, what sort of an experience will you have? A mediocre experience. And that never serves. So do it. Jump. The parachute will open. Or no.
Karine is asking how to teach our children this system in the daily life.
You know, I think it's just to teach them to be real, to move their emotions, to focus inward, to use the facets. And I think it's such a simple system. It's really just the actions of love. And the children will do it because they're watching you do it. If you take responsibility for your emotions, if you take responsibility for being in the present moment, walking through your fears, moving everything responsibly, if they see you unifying, doing exercise, they're going to copy you. You know, you have to be this which you wish to transmit. And children copy. And be sure that if you're not absolutely in integrity, the children are the first ones to see it, huh? Because they're very clear. They have a very clear vision. And just trust in that. Get them to unify with you. Show them how to be vulnerable, how to speak the truth. Just teach them from a place of love.
I'm not very clear about the concept of letting go. What does it mean to let go? You can let go of bad memories of the past and fears that you have in the present, but how do you do it?
With the facets. You have to connect with the emotion and let it go. You know, often we attach to our traumas and we identify with them so strongly. Why? Because that feeds the victim. This is why I am like I am. It's not my fault. Something happened to me which made me into a victim. And we have to see this. And we have to let the trauma go. We have to see what transpired and think, okay, this happened. It's a gift. I can go beyond this. I'm going to move all of this and I'm going to go beyond. And in situations in this moment, I can't move forward because I have fear. We have to go beyond the fear. Because on the other side of fear, there's always more love. And much more love than the fear. And as we start to practice doing that, it becomes habitual. Because we start to see the illusion of fear. And it is an illusion. So, if I'm feeling it energetically, I have to connect. I have to move the emotion, anchoring consciousness, and move through the fear. If it's a memory, I need to express the memory with the intention of letting it go. But it's very important to empty, because if we just fix it intellectually, it can still grip us at any moment. That's why in the beginning of the system, it's so important to move the emotion, to be a complete victim, to absolutely demonstrate our vulnerability and what we perceive as the worst aspect of our humanity. We have to allow all of that to transform. So how do we transform it? Because we put it in the light. We become vulnerable. We expose the things we judge. And they start to dilute. And they start to transform. And this is the wonderful thing about the meetings. Because everyone around you has a similar experience. And once you start to see that, it's so enlightening. Because you start to see, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. Oh, this happened to this person. And this happened to that person. Because humans have a multitude of experiences. And they're not all delightful. But once we start to expose them, they lose their power. You know, it's like when you turn the light on. All the monsters disappear from the room, no? And that's all it is. Vulnerability is turning the light on and seeing my humanity. It's everywhere. We're all human.
DJ is asking how to deal with the rejection feeling. What are these rejections that I get to feel?
These are judgments you have with you. And you start to see them externally. So you have to heal them inside. You know, judgment within, judgment without. And we get to see it. You know, this is the irony of the human condition. We're always angry if someone judges us. But if you look carefully, you have that judgment. That's why it makes you so angry. And you have to see that. The only way to heal judgment or rejection is to heal it internally. You know, it's not about marching down the street. It's about healing it. I don't need to have people respecting me. I need to respect myself. I need to be true to my heart instead of constantly abandoning myself. And as a consequence, everything external will change.
How can I create more connection with abundance?
By being in the present moment and giving gratitude for what you have. You know, we all live in abundance. But our feeling of lack makes us perceive everything externally as more. The only way to create abundance is to focus on what abundance you have. That's why the facets are based in praise, love and gratitude. If you're always looking for what you don't have, you'll never be abundant. Because if you're needing or wanting, what is that saying about you? I'm living in lack. But if I'm present in the moment and I'm feeling internal abundance and I'm giving gratitude and appreciation, that will start to change. You know, the more consciousness you have, your desires start to dissolve. They don't become so important because you've already filled the emptiness. You know, you can have experiences. You can do what you want, but not from a place of need. And ask yourself, what's missing in this moment? And I think all humans have to look at that. You know, we're always consuming, because we feel empty. And the whole world revolves around that. You know, you get an iPhone and you need the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. It's eternal. And there's nothing wrong with it. But is that completing you? No. It's not completing you. This completes you. This completes you. And I think the world's starting to see that. You know, we destroy the planet. We're so violent with ourselves, with the world, with each other, because we can't be with ourselves. We don't enjoy our own company. We want everyone to agree and to hold us and to tell us we're loved, like a pack of little kids. You know, do you love me? Do you love me? Am I doing it right? Am I good enough? Look what I have. Look, do you want to come and play with my toys? I've got more toys than you. You know, humanity has to mature and find the internal abundance, and that's it. Once you have that, you have everything. And you can have everything. But from a conscious place, not just a gluttonous place of consuming because you can.
I have the syndrome of Peter Pan, and I thought
Who
that I
is
was
this?
Gabi. I just was her birthday.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that I was going to be always young. Can you talk a bit about
Yeah,
the
well, you're finished
sensation?
now. I mean, you're 43. You're like really old. So maybe you can be Peter Pan's mother, no? You know, but Peter Pan, forget it. Okay, so maybe it's time for you to grow up. You know, it's a state of mind. If you're happy within yourself, it doesn't matter what age you are. It's how you're being in each moment. That's the only thing important. And maybe it's time for you to grow up. Take responsibility, go and give. And believe me, when you're 63, 43 will look young. You know, and 63 is not old either. Or 73. It doesn't matter. It's what you're focused on. Because you are eternal. And that's what you have to find. That's what you have to find. Peter Pan.
I had to take distance from two cousins because their relationship became like full of envies. Sometimes they send messages and I answer them shortly. I see that as a kind of a step of evolution of mine internally. What do you think?
Yeah, pushing people away, blocking them on your phone, not responding to their text. Sounds very evolved and immature. You know, you've got to look at what's happening. You have to go in and see why this is affecting you. You know, you need to connect with what's going on. Because everything that's against you, you can't just remove it. You have to look at it and see, where is that in me? And heal it. You have to heal it internally. Why is it affecting you so much? And if they're trying to communicate, obviously they're open to you. Why are you closed to them? You know, you don't have to protect yourself from love. Open to receive it. And if there's envy, so what? How does that affect you? It's pretty immature. Move what's going on and let it go.
I know that you responded this many times, but in this moment will be good for me if you can remind me, how is that thing of the waking up? How can I achieve it?
Well, it'd be good if you did the system. Let go of your attachments. Be vulnerable. Speak your truth. Unify a lot with your eyes open and your eyes closed. Just be the essence of the system and you are awakening. But focus on absolutely solidifying consciousness. So you have a permanent experience of love consciousness.
Ana Milena is asking, I usually write everything about everything, all what's happening internally, about my process, about all of the things that I can do and I can see, and I decide to change. Can you talk a little bit about it?
I don't think you better sell the book. It sounds pretty boring. You know, focus inwards. This is just entertaining your intellect. If there's something clear that you need to do, you won't need to write it down. You'll know. It's a place where you have control. You know, sometimes I see people doing this in Darshan. Then they write. But they haven't opened to receive anything. Because consciousness is simple. Love's simple. And we have to plant the seeds in our heart. But if we're sitting here, we're not open. You know, anything important you need to know, you'll never forget. It'll be here. It'll be so clear. You won't have to go looking through your notes. Because it's going to be in your face. It'll be imprinted in your face. So let go of the control and just be here. Open to receive, go deeper. I bet you're writing this down too, no? Stop writing!
During this mega, it's happening several times a day that if I go inwards, I feel certain anguish and I feel a lot of fear. But if I remain there feeling, this dilutes. I'm going through a very complex family and personal situation. What can you tell me?
You know, on the surface, there's always that. It's like the waves on the ocean. And that's what keeps us on the surface. That stress, that fear. But when we just dive through it, we start to expand into consciousness. And we start to see that that movement is illusionary. It's the thing that holds us in our human experience, our duality. But it's still part of the ocean. And at some moment, if you sit in the depth, it will start to become calm. So you have to go through that. And the more you're unifying, the more you're making that, stir that up. But we have to filter that out. Because it's stress. It's separation. It's the thing that holds us here. Trying to fix the outside. Trying to please everyone. Trying to find calm. But once we go through it, we can start to see it. Oh yeah, it's just stress. It's just thoughts. It's not who I am. It's that which is holding me externally. And we will see that. And we'll start to sit in the depths of being. The profound depth of being.
Sometimes I feel extremely intense, like convincing everyone and moving from an energy of effort. And then I feel like tired. What can you tell me?
It's just your control. You need to be right. And you just need to drop it. You know, if it leaves you like that, it's not serving. You need to have control. And you just let go and trust. You know, the most important thing for you in this moment is your evolution, not controlling the outside. Your consciousness, you being loving with yourself, you being gentle with yourself, and letting go of the external. This is what's important in this moment, especially if you're in the middle of a mega. You know, you're going very deep. Your body's moving a lot of energy. And then you're controlling everything externally. And it's exhausting. So stop doing that. And give all the energy to you. Be more loving.
Competition is part of my life. I want to know how to compete from a place of consciousness.
You know, if you're giving your best in every moment, if you're not defining yourself through winning, you have such a freedom, and you'll also find that your performance is much better. When we're so focused on winning, the joy disappears. And when we achieve the goal, it lasts for a second. It's not important. What's important is that you're giving your best. That's what's important. You know, I compete in competitive sports. And I win a lot. But what's more important for me? To win or to be in integrity? To enjoy? That's much more important for me. Before, it was not more important for me. The important thing was to win, no matter what it took. But as you mature and you find more love, to be your best and to give that best makes you feel good with yourself. It's not about the winning. And to empower other people, this is what's important. You know, to win at all costs means to pull other people down. If you do it in business, you're not empowering other people. Everything's competitive, holding information, not helping each other. How does that make you feel about you? Because ultimately, if you're not being a loving person, you don't feel good with yourself. But if you're powerful and you empower everyone else, how do you feel? You feel great because you see other people evolving. And that's what's important. So competition is a little bit overrated. I think it needs to be more focused on being the best of you. That's what's important.
I feel very, very good by myself when I'm doing something, but when I'm in groups, I feel extremely insecure. What's that?
Well, it's your ego. Worrying about what other people think. And you have to go through that. You just have to be happy with you. You know, we're always looking for what other people think about us. And they're doing the same thing. So what's the point? There's no point. But when you're anchored in you, when you're giving the best of you, however that looks, you might not even say anything. You might not even participate. Or you might be all the center of attention. But it's how you're feeling about yourself. You know, if you're not comfortable with other people, you're conscious of self. And you're not there for that. Just lighten up. Have fun. Be you. Stop worrying about how that looks. Be willing to look stupid. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters.
I'm in a psychiatric treatment. What do you think? I'm new at this, and I would like to know also what moment of the day is the best one for me to unify. In the morning, midday, afternoon, or night?
Well, it's good to unify 20 minutes 3 times a day. because it gives you like a peace. And it doesn't matter if you're in with a psychiatric. It doesn't matter. You know, the important thing is that you're eliminating stress, that you're finding a place of peace. That's the only thing that's important. So I'd do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the mediodía, and 20 minutes before you go to sleep. And if you want to unify a bit more, it's up to you. But it's going to give you more internal security, and it'll give you more balance. You know, this is a very general idea, no? Because I don't know why or how come or what tablets you're taking and how much unification you can do. But if you're doing an hour a day, it's going to be great for you. If you're doing more, it's good that you have support from us. You know, it's in your hands. We have lots of people that are with psychiatrists. It's no big deal. You know, sometimes we have some chemical thing. You know, and the unification will help that.
I'm very exigent with myself at work, and when I'm not recognizing what I do, or like things are not coming, the outcome is not as I expected, I get into a victim role. How can I change this?
Well, that's not very exigente, is it? To be a victim. Powerful people give their best and let go. And that's the solution. Because you're so identified with the outcome. And things don't happen as you want. They happen as they're meant to happen. So you give 100% and then you let go. But you have to identify with this. You have to identify with your internal power, your love. And you need to be excellent, but not exigente. Sometimes we set such a high level that no one can achieve it, including us. Then you feel like a victim. Oh, I tried so hard, I did my best, no one appreciates me, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm a victim. You give, push, let go. Give, push, let go. And be good with you. Look what I did. Oh, well, it didn't go how I went, but I gave 100%. And I let go. That's the way to move forward.
Why my creations are so intense? I pass from something great to something terrible, and I cannot have a life in calm. And even if I unify, my intensity doesn't diminish.
So who said calm and even's good? Maybe it's boring for you. You know, do you want everything to be flat line? Or are you enjoying this? But the important thing is, it doesn't matter what's happening. It's a training ground for you to be complete within yourself. And that's the only thing important. You know, life's always like this. It's never like that. But you have to be calm. You can move into action. You can resolve the drama. You can come back to the place of peace. This is your life, full of action. But where are you? I'm here. Okay. I can let go. I can focus. I can stop being in the drama and just be here and witness the drama. Fix the drama, if I can fix it. If I can't, let go. But it's in your hands. And life's like that. It's up and down. Look at the world today. Who knew 5 months ago we'd be grounded? Who could imagine? Any of you? Me no. There you go. And it's exactly how it's meant to be. It's meant to be like this. It's perfect. This is how it is now. And soon it'll be a roller coaster again. Are you ready? I'm ready. Or you want plano? Oh, God. Have that when you die. Gracias.